All right, here we are. Here we are. For once, looks like we are live first. Mic check 1, 2. We are live over on YouTube, and uh, we're live on Snow too. Good morning, Angela. Welcome in. It's nice to see you this morning. Writer's Room is here for sure. I hope that your week has gone well, and we are anxiously awaiting updates. On your whole situation. Welcome in, Texas T. It's nice to see you this morning. Let me see. But save it though. We'll wait for a few more folks to get in. Everything is good. Yeah. All right. So Texas T has entered the chat in a drunken stupor. All right. That's one way to do it. Coming here still lit from last night. It is a holiday. Hopefully this drunken stupor isn't standing in the way of something that is important that you need to get done. Noble Ancient is in the building. Good morning. Good evening, Noble Ancient. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Violet Neal is here on YouTube, looks like. We got folks watching on Facebook and YouTube already. That's cool. Hang in there with us as we get settled. Alexis Autumn Elf is here. Welcome in, Alexis. It's great to see you this morning. Excited to hear about your journey thus far. I know it's been, it's been an event for sure, and I can't wait to hear more about how you are finding things there. Once again, this is session number 170 of the Morning Journal, and I'm in here trying to get a handle on the controls this morning and figure out I kind of know what the vibe is because it's Christmas Eve or Silver Holiday Eve, I think is what Noble described it as. And this will be my last stream of the week. Again, I know we've been we typically have streams on Friday evening, but I'm not going to be doing those today. Got family coming in town. Most specifically, my aunt is coming, and it's going to be a night of games, and hopefully games and fun. No hurt feelings and nothing like that. All right. It's the day of feast, day 2 of Silver Holiday. Angela wants to cook some tamales already. Oh yeah, there you go. I remember having tamales over the holiday back when I was married. Was it the Christmas time when we went down to I can't remember if it was Christmas. If we spent a Christmas down in the valley, the Rio Grande Valley, and had tamales. I don't know. It might have been Christmas, or it might have been somebody's quinceañera, somebody getting married or something. Jamocha is here. Hi, Jamocha. Happy Friday. Merry Christmas Eve to you as well. I'm glad to have you here this morning. All right, we're coming about 5 minutes in, so why don't we start a conversation? Bex is in the building. Good morning, Bex. I don't think we have any. I don't know if you've already did your fit check. I don't know if you already did your fit check for today, but we already live, so Berlin is here from DT Dub TV. Everybody, I want to make sure I get this plug in before I forget. I checked out Berlin's playthrough of Rocket League yesterday. If you're into games, and specifically if you like Rocket League, go through and check out DT Dub TV, latest video playthrough of Rocket League. Pretty entertaining watch. All right, let's get into it. Rocket League was recommended by Kathy on Spoon, so maybe if you are into that game, maybe you can pop through and maybe y'all can play together. Maybe, I guess the ultimate video is going to be Bex playing Mario 64. That's the one we all waiting for. All right, since it is Friday, I want to start with a little bit of specific gratitude. Let's talk about the best thing that happened to me this week. I'm going to open up the request box for you. So for some of us, it's been a really busy and hectic week. Oh, Bex is trashing my outfit. Okay, it's cool. All right. So since it's Friday, I know it's been a hectic week. Some of us have been traveling. Some of us have been meeting new people. Maybe depending on what type of work you do, if you're working in retail, it might have been really hectic. So there's a lot of stuff to think about. But what has been the best of the week thus far? Welcome in, Boxman, the Reaper Cowboy. Welcome to Morning Journal, session number 170 with Black Purple Friday edition. So Angela says, the best thing that happened to me this week was the positivity. Love that. The positivity is the best thing that happened to me this week. All right. We got a little bit of technical difficulty over on the video side. If you're watching, I apologize for not being able to show you the response. Hopefully I'll be able to get the video screen sharing up for you briefly. Someone anonymously is sharing that, I can't really say what it is yet. I don't know if you're worried about a jinx situation, but you don't want to say. Maybe you are cautiously optimistic. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A little cautious optimism. See if I can get back in the game here. So I would like to know if you are in a place different than you normally would be. Did you travel for the holiday? Or alternatively, is someone in your house that normally wouldn't be there? That's a worthwhile question too. Is someone in your house that wouldn't normally be there? Quick reminder to everyone, in case you haven't heard, Wham wants you to know that if nobody's told you today, that you all are beautiful. So for Jamocha, it is reconnecting with an old friend. I don't know if this is the same friend that we spoke about earlier in the week. But yeah, reconnection is really cool. Esso is here. Good morning, Esso. Thanks for joining us for a couple minutes. I don't know, you might be getting ready to slip into the subconscious, but I'm glad to see you. We're checking in with our highlights What's the best thing that has happened to you this week? You fill in the blank with that. So Berlin says, I don't know, Dati Bio. I don't know what that means. Maybe, I don't know. I shared it because I figured maybe y'all know. I don't know. Believe it. That's what it means. Believe it. Noble Ancient. So far, the best for me has been the adventure of our trip and the Almighty granting adventures to me to match with each thing that happened. The day got better. You ask. Right. Okay. A Naruto reference. Okay. All right. Oh, Jamoka said, no, it wasn't the same person. It was somebody different. She just, it's that season for Jamoka. Just reconnecting. I don't know. I don't know if there's any, I don't know if I'm reading any subtext into this. And I don't need to get all in your business. But you know, the nature of this reconnection. I'm just curious, you know, what's the am I reading something into this? Oh, you got the shots and called her up. Okay. All right, cool. Say less. Aunt Capone is in the building, folks. Welcome in, Aunt Capone. Merry Christmas Eve there, buddy. I hope that you and your family are doing well. Nettie Ro, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. So we're talking about the highlights of the week here. And Alexis is sharing that having a safe trip, although it has been trying, not gonna lie, hidden fees, PayPal issues, and overwhelmed for meeting so many people. But it's interesting. Yeah. I think the process of meeting a large family at one time, you just get kind of dunked in the deep end, and it can be extremely overwhelming. I know that a lot of people who have connected with me had that experience because I have a large family. And if you happen to meet at an event where everyone is there, you just kind of like don't even know. Like you can't remember who's who and like how we can. And like we have, when we have in-person family reunions, if you mess around and come to one of those, it's a couple hundred folks out in the backyard. Ain't no way in the world to make sense of who's who. And you out there trying to figure out who's who, you know. Or if you're Bex and you happen to be meeting, let's say you decide you want to go on a date with Bex. You might show up at the restaurant where the date is and Bex's whole family's there. You meeting mom, dad, mom, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, all at one time. Cousins, boyfriends, sisters, classmates, all at one time. Yeah, deep out there. So I know it definitely can be overwhelming. And yeah, after it's over though, I think that hopefully by the time the trip is over, you will have made a connection with at least a couple folks that you can, you know, remember. But yeah, you're the expectations that you're going to remember everyone. Nobody expects you to be able to take all of that in. So Uh-oh. Bex says, I completed my first week with my new personal trainer. I'm seeing the benefits already. Plus, he's cute. Oh, man. Bex is out here blurring the lines, existing in these gray areas again. Oh, man. Well, congratulations on finding a trainer that is working for you. And yeah, sometimes we need a little help to reach our goals, right? He said, at least he's keeping me motivated. Oh man, the exercise. Bex is in the gym doing high repetitions of hair flips. High rep hair flips. That's the biggest exercise. What's that move in the gym where you look back over your shoulder? You know what I mean? That's the all of the motions of flirting. Those are the exercises. Flipping your hair is good for your neck muscles. Yeah, that's true. So Esso says that I've had many wins this week. The most recent one is getting my PC fixed and getting that satisfaction of paying off my credit cards. Yeah, been a good week overall. I love that. Alexis is stressed out, about to go smoke. Oh man, love it. All right. I think one kind of neat trick, if you're in a situation where you are meeting a lot of people, I think one way to deal with that is maybe I don't know, like using your phone as a way to like kind of catalog. You know, it's like, hey, I'm such and such, nice to meet you. Let's take a little quick video, a little photo, so you can kind of remember who's who. That's one trick. Especially if it's someone that you have, you know, that you feel cool with. You don't want to get mixed up in uh, the crowd. But it's an introvert's nightmare to have to get dropped into a high intensity social situation when you just kind of want to sit and stay out of the way. So the highlight for Aunt Capone is got the job. Aunt Capone got the gig. So congratulations. Put a little show some love in the chat. Aunt Capone got that gig that he took the drug test for earlier. I guess he passed the drug test with flying colors. That's what's up. So yeah, congratulations. Yo, Jamocha, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's beautiful. Thank you. So I'm glad that everyone could find something in your experience for which you are grateful, or for that you could recognize as the best thing. So let's check this out. Let's let me know. Drop me a heart in the chat if we're ready to go into our next prompt. I found myself in sort of in between ideas this morning. I mean, I've done some reading and did some, like I had some notes, and I was kind of in between ideas as far as like which direction I wanted to take the conversation today. But I think it might be pretty interesting. Tree is here. Welcome in, Tree. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just getting ready to change the prompt in the background. Hello, Holly. Welcome in. Welcome to Morning Journal. And welcome to Spoon. It looks like you're new. If you got questions, please let us know. We're going into the next part of our conversation here. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm just going to ramble for a few moments before I open up the request box to kind of bring together the ideas that I've been thinking about, hopefully in a way that makes sense. We'll see. I'll try to make it make sense. But mainly what was kind of on my mind was the intersection between like certainty and habit and routine, the needs that we have for predictability in our life and our experience. So Bex, you got to take the chicken out of the freezer. It's already Christmas Eve. That's in the chat. That's in the chat with Bex. So let me see if I can make sense of this. I want to talk a little bit about habits, and we talk about that from time to time. Over the course of the week, we've been looking at our relationship and our being in time. And I think that more than anything else, the habits that we have in place are the greatest predictor of the outcomes that we're going to experience, or the quality of the life that we're going to experience is not going to be determined so much by the one-off things that we do. Hi, Alice. Nice to meet you this morning. Nice to meet you here on Christmas Eve this morning. Hope that things are going well. But yeah, it's not the things we do occasionally, even though some things really jump out in our mind as kind of spotlight moments. It's the little everyday habits, the stuff we do over and over again that has the most impact on sort of the quality of our experience. And we lean into habits, I think, because they give us a sense of certainty. You know, we do something and we have a pretty predictable response to it. You know, we have varying degrees of tolerance for uncertainty. And, you know, even bad habits are comfortable, even if they're not taking us necessarily where we want to go. But I think that when we do have some sort of a vision of what we might like to create out of our life, then the installation of habits that get us there is probably one of the most productive things that we can do. But it is an installation. It's not an overnight trick. We need all kinds of... It's almost like we have to play games with ourselves to get ourselves to do the things that we know would be helpful. We need accountability. We need a clear scoreboard to measure exactly what it is that we're doing. We need some actionable feedback. So the relationship between habits and certainty is, I'm noodling around with that. And understanding that how our stories, the stories that we tell ourselves, impact the way that we move and the habits that we stay stuck in, and the ones that we ultimately break free from when they enter. So we're going to get into that in this first prompt. What is the most stable and predictable part of your daily life? It's getting into some of those things that are pretty well entrenched. Now, even if it's stable and predictable, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy. It means it's just there. And it's good to recognize those kind of fixed pieces that we have that we build everything else around. So let's get into that. Let me open up the request box. We got Britt is here. Welcome in, Britt. Alice is here and feels needing to cry without a reason. Just kind of sitting. us and feel how you feel. That's what we do here. We kind of feel our feelings in the company of folks who don't mind that at all. So let me open up the request box and let's get into the conversation. I'm gonna open what do I want to call this? I'll call it stable. Again, stable and consistent doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing. It means that we are reliably in that space. So yeah, let's do it. Beck says that this live is definitely one of those things for me. Yeah. I mean, I know that because I see you, and I endeavor to make it a worthwhile part of your daily experience. I know sometimes on Saturday morning, I don't go live on Saturdays, and sometimes I want to. Sometimes I feel like I need to get up here, but I also know that if I do it every day, if I get in here on Saturday, I also know that like by Thursday I start getting tired. So if I don't take those breaks, I'm gonna fall off. So let's see what we have here. The stable things. Stable and predictable. Like clockwork. Britt says my children screaming at me in the morning for dino waffles. So I usually get on Spoon and we listen to your live stream every morning while you're getting those dino waffles together. So for Jamocha, that stable thing is taking inventory of my day. Where do I need to take accountability, make amends, speak with my higher power, and calling to check in with the sponsor. So building the tools to support your sobriety, building the tools to support your continued growth, and staying with that. I love that. Welcome in, Alex. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. So for Alice, the predictable thing about daily life is the feeling of entrapment, knowing it and not being able to address it. Yeah, that's a difficult thing. It's like being in a mental prison or an emotional prison, and you wake up with that awareness that you're not able to break free. It's like you're doing a bid, an indeterminate bid. You can't even count down the days. You're just existing. I hope that feeling is not something that you are existing with 24/7. I know that sometimes you have mostly cloudy skies, where most of the day there's going to be an overcast. There might be an occasional storm, but hopefully there is at least a few breaks in the clouds where the sun can shine and you can feel a little bit of warmth and feel a little bit of sense of possibility that the pain isn't all there is. And when we know that the pain isn't all there is, that's a start to know that there is something else available, even in the state of not being able to address it. If we have those glimmers of it, then we at least know, okay, there is something. And hopefully, you have or can find support in relationships in your life, the people that you're connected with, in your spiritual practice, whatever it is that you can rely on, you can find ways to find more light and grow that part of possibility. But I definitely know what it feels like to be trapped. And sometimes we construct, we are trapped in prisons of our own construction. We sabotage ourselves, and we stand and hold the key and forget which pocket is theirs. So for Tree, in the morning is preparing my husband's coffee, water flask, and lunch for the workday. After that is chaos and very unpredictable. And then at night is this live, right? Just in case, but people don't know, Tree is overhead of Hawaii, so this is a late night sort of bedtime live, no doubt. And well, in many cases, Tree and Mr. Tree are listening in. Subconsciously, Mr. Tree is listening in because he's a deep sleeper. So, the most predictable, stable part of my daily routine, says No Ancient, is that my day's adventure resets at midnight. Otherwise, I don't have any predictable part of my 24. You asked, and I answered. So for Ann Capone, the most predictable and stable part of the day is work. He says, I know I work at least once every day. I know I gotta work. So get you up. Jade and Star, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us. Right now we're talking about the predictable part of our day, and stable part of our daily life. We all have different levels of control. Sometimes we are in situations where everything is kind of laid out for us and we don't have a lot of choice. If you have a 9 to 5 with a fixed schedule, I got to get up at this time and I got to go do this. Some of us might have occupations with hours that vary. So it's a little less predictable when it's going to happen, but you kind of build it around that. Some of us thrive in structure by having these predictable parts, and some of us kind of chafe under the constraints of having that routine and that monotony. We feel like we are burdened by the structure. We all have different sort of personalities and inclinations and relationships around structure that might be rooted in the way that we were raised. Star, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. Britt, thanks for the like. So let's hear some more things that we have. So SO says, the stable parts are my parents, my home, and belongings. This is making me realize that there's more variety in my life than certainty. I think one of the things that happens with those pieces, those stable things, those predictable things, sometimes they fade in the background and we don't even notice it anymore. It just becomes a part of the furniture of our existence. We know that it's there, we don't have to think about it. And not having to think about it does a couple things. One, it frees up the bandwidth. Just like a habit, whenever there's something that you kind of do automatically, it doesn't take a lot of mental gymnastics to get yourself into the groove to do it. So this is just what I do. You don't have to necessarily play a whole game to get it going. It's just you know this is what it's going to be. Or when it comes to the relationships, we can fall into the trap of maybe taking some things for granted that require or that deserve a little bit more appreciation. So stable and predictable doesn't necessarily get celebrated. Um, Often it is taken for granted, but it definitely has its place in helping us regulate everything that's going on, our emotions around everything else that's happening in life. So let's see what else we have here. So someone says the most stable and predictable thing in my daily life is my heart beating faster when I'm talking to the girl talking to the girl I'm talking to at the moment. Someone's catching the butterflies. Somebody is in the grip of new love, that excitement. Either that or they need to go to the doctor. Either way, feeling very much alive. So stable and predictable. Someone anonymously shares that my parents, my home, and my choices. There are definitely some things that you don't want to have to worry about every day. There are definitely are some things that you need to take off the table in terms of having to worry about. Number one priority is to get that situation locked down and not have to worry about and figure that out every day. So it's great to have that relationship and to know that there are people who are there for you, and if you want to have a place to lay your head, safety, comfort, relatively peace. Miss Ma'am, welcome in, Miss Ma'am. It's been a minute since I've seen you. Hope that things are going well for you. Nice to have you among us this morning. We're talking about the stable and predictable parts of our daily life. We'll give it a couple more seconds. If you are ready, drop a heart in the chat, and I'm going to cut it off. But I think a lot of us here are creative folks, whether we recognize it or describe ourselves that way or not. A lot of us are artists of different types. We make things, we make connections, we make homes, we make songs. And I think a lot of times creative personalities sometimes chafe against the structure and kind of seek out novelty. And that's important. And a lot of times we do this thing where we create a lot of drama in our lives needlessly just because we're bored. We want to stir up some drama just out of boredom. But, it's me. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Bex says, yeah, that's me. All right. Okay. Let's get ready to get into our next prompt, if you don't mind. All right. So on the opposite end of the stable and predictable things are the things that are just kind of out of control, So this prompt blank has totally gotten out of hand. What's something that is just the opposite of stable and predictable? It's just chaos, completely out of hand. You don't experience any sense of control or comfort Open up the request box. Miss Ma'am says, my morning breath is just completely out of hand. This is ridiculous. It don't make no sense. Miss Ma'am says, I got to wake up at the middle of the night and brush my teeth. Like, brush it before you go to bed, and then you need to top up that brush up at about 3 in the morning. And then the morning breath might be half as bad. Oh man, Miss Ma'am, have you ever woke up in the middle of the night and brushed your teeth? I don't know. Sometimes you know, I think one of the things that the pandemic has taught us, I think we have all learned the degree to which we've gotten more closely acquainted with our level of oral hygiene over this couple years of wearing a mask every day. We are intimately acquainted with the level of our oral hygiene. And for some of us, it's appalling, right? It's just like, I'm gonna be alone forever if I can't get something going here. Who could love what's coming out of my mouth right now? I'm just gonna be alone forever. Oh man, Miss Ma'am just smelled this that stank in your dreams. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Someone has anonymously said, you don't want to know. Shh, smirk, wink. I don't want to know what's gotten out of hand. Well, if you're saying it like that, I think it's probably something anatomical. It's probably something anatomical that you talk about. It's gotten out of hand. And usually what gets out of hand, anatomical, that can happen without any surgical intervention or whatever, a lot of times we're talking about that wagon. So but I'm just guessing. I don't know, just guessing. Jehovah Thickness says that me, when I get bored, completely out of hand. That's one of my creativities of how to push someone's buttons. Yeah, you start pushing buttons. When you get bored, you start being a menace. Okay? Picking fights, causing all kinds of, making poor choices out of boredom that you have to pay for weeks, months, years into the future. Can't sit still and mind your business. That's a shame. So for Jamocha, what has gotten out of hand is sleep. I don't go to bed at a consistent time. Sometimes don't sleep. I don't get enough sleep, etc. Yeah, I think a lot of folks in here share that struggle. I mean, some of a lot of the folks in here they're here as a testament to to the fact that they don't get unable to sleep consistently. But I think that I value sleep, and I probably am boring because I usually go to sleep pretty early. Sometimes embarrassingly early, because at the point where I feel like I need to You know how you get to the point where you don't necessarily feel clear-headed enough or sharp enough to do anything work-wise, and you just kind of want to veg out and maybe start watching a show, or when you get ready to do that, what I usually do when I start feeling like I don't have enough energy to do anything creative, I just sleep. I'll just go to sleep, and maybe I'll wake up at some ridiculous hour early in the morning. But because my best hours are in the morning, I'm uh, I'm okay with that. It's like, okay, I'll just get up and I'll get a lot of work done. Sometimes I feel a little weird because I forget. I feel like I'm being lazy because I forget that I worked for 4 hours before everybody got up. So if I'm tired in the afternoon, or if I'm ready to go to bed, I, you know, it's valid. So yeah, let me just get the music going again. J Man is here. Quasha is here. Welcome, folks. We're talking about some things in our life that have gotten totally out of hand. Um, you know, so let's take a look. We got Alexis saying this trip, get to the hotel and they charge hidden fees of $100. So we had to figure that out. Then I was trying to make money to check the back, but it glitched. So I'm having to ask mom for help. Yeah, travel is always tricky. Travel is always tricky. It's like, yeah, you always need a buffer with travel. It's never, you can never expect it to go smoothly. If you're lucky, it might, but yeah, it's rough. They catch you. Quasha, thanks so much for the like. Welcome in, Sigma. J Man, thank you so much for the like. All right. Noble says anything that is in between my midnight resets have gotten out of hand. The adventure spirals in and out of focus, and the unpredictability takes over and inflicts all kinds of chaos. Oh man. All right, we got 16 folks in here. And I'm looking at Sigma, and looks like Sigma's playing the equal follower game right now. Is that, let me know if that's what you're doing, Sigma? I think he wants to get 69 and 69, probably. I'm thinking maybe that's the goal. So for trees back on the rice. Um, trees back on the rice, and it's getting out of hand. Oh man. Okay, it just happened that way. Okay, okay. I was wondering. We might have enough people in here to make it happen. Yeah, I think Noble Ancient. I think you have a fan in Aunt Capone. Noble's definitely a uh, interesting creative being. You know, super cool. So I think that you know it's just kind of natural. As much as we would like to keep everything in control, um, there are some times when things get out of hand, and the first step is kind of recognizing it when it gets that way, because there's such a thing as called momentum. It's like when you're watching a basketball game and you watching, and then the other team make a couple stops and score, go on a little run. They start getting that momentum. You got to call a timeout, yo. We got to call a timeout and break this momentum, set up a play, do something, and figure out how we're going to turn this thing around. So recognizing when things get out of hand is it's like calling a timeout and drawing up while you're taking this timeout, draw up a play. Like, okay, what is something, it might not work. Sometimes you call a timeout and they go out and, you still aren't able to quite execute it. You can't execute the play that you have. You don't get it right the first time. But that doesn't mean you just need to let it run out of control. You got to keep trying, So I think that recognizing and calling out things that have gotten out of hand gives you an opportunity to at least check your notes, go through your playbook, and figure out, okay, so what can I do to break this pattern? What can I do? What kind of defense do I need to set up? Who's burning me out there? What kind of strategy do I have in my repertoire that may be able to slow some of this negative momentum down? Or what habit do I need to install? Sometimes it might let you know that you don't have the right roster. It's a bad matchup. So, you might need to go trade. So we got Warrior in here. Thank you so much for joining us, Warrior. It's always great to see you. Hope that you're doing well. Miss Ma'am's got to leave early. See how you do. You ain't been here in a month and then you're not even gonna stay. That's how it is. It's all good. It's all good though. We'll catch you next time. You know what I mean? It's like I'm just gonna swing through. I hope that the people that you have coming over are welcome and that you have fun. So, Miss Ma'am, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. It's Monday through Friday. So I'll be back on Monday. Also, in case for folks who are in here, it's probably a good time to let you know that I'm also streaming live on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. If you follow the link in and Twitter. So if you follow the link in my notice, it'll give you links to all the different places that you can go to listen in to the live stream and catch replays of the live streams. So don't try to find me on Facebook though. I mean, try the other places. If you already know me and you're on Facebook, cool. But don't try to find me on Facebook. We don't need to do that. I don't need you in here, interacting with my family and stuff. All right. So for Quasha, something that's gotten out of hand is that phone addiction. It's like a little slot machine in your pocket. I would say, what would you say is the application that gives you the most trouble? Miss Ma'am is about to go. All right, Miss Ma'am. You know what? I think. Oh, you leaving right now? Okay. You probably got to clean up the house before they get there, huh? All right. I think a lot of us have an addiction to our mobile device for whatever reason. Miss Wham Bam leaving now. Yeah. All right, here we are. Sigma says that my best friend has let her emotional instability get out of hand, so much that the last 4 times she came over, I kindly asked her to address it and come back, always with love, but not softly. So you have a volatile person in your life that you're having to deal with, and they are sharing that with you in a way that is not welcome, I guess is a cool way to put it. So setting a boundary, I mean, you can't necessarily control your friend. I guess the thing that is the question for you is your willingness and ability to establish some sort of healthy boundary. So it's really not about your friend and her choices and what she's going through. It is about your awareness of your capacity to be of assistance. Like, what is the best way and the healthiest way for you to engage with her as this is going on? So, Out of Hand Warrior is saying these foot pursuits, I'd be so over them. All these, and this new dispatcher is getting out of hand. I want to slap her. Why am I on foot? Call somebody closer. Give me a better vehicle. So, gotten out of hand. So Sigma continues about that relationship and those boundaries. It's almost like it's like I almost got to just tap out and fall back. That's a very difficult thing to do, especially if it's a relationship and a person that you care about. It's difficult to have someone in your experience who's suffering that you don't feel like you are equipped to support and help. But you definitely have to put your mask on first. So it's a tough one. All right. So we talked about stability. We talked about those things that might be sort of outside of the realm. So we got a lot of first responders in the chat. We got at least 3 first responders in the chat. So Bex tried a new tea called London Fog. I think I have a slight caffeine addiction now. So that tea is getting out of hand. Trying to find a non-caffeinated replacement. Imagine being so bougie that you get addicted to London Fog. That's like the bougie. It's called London Fog, and it's a problem. Imagine London Fog being a problem. How bougie do you have to be for London Fog to be a problem? Oh, I have a couple of London Fog in the afternoon. That's a bit of an issue for me. Gotta find another way to take care of my need to take some tea every afternoon. What would I do? It's become a bit of a problem for me. London Fog. Does anyone have any recommendations? Maybe I can go to some Earl Grey. Although I do believe there's some caffeine. I find a way to wean myself. Oh, I love the way that Bex interprets the assignment. Always. All right. Are we ready? I think we're gonna be ready to go to the next prompt. Drop a heart in the chat if we are. And let's see what we got here. There's a lot of things that Bex might get mad at me about, but calling her bougie is not one of them. Nelly, welcome in. Thanks for joining us this morning. All right, our next prompt. Blank is much more difficult than I expected. Blank is much more difficult than I expected. Let me open up the request box. I think that we are sometimes not really great judges of how difficult certain things are going to be. Sometimes we get I don't know, how would you say it? We're delusional. And we get ourselves involved in situations that are a lot harder than we thought they'd be. And then we're stuck with that. Now you got to deal with it. Now this is in your life. And you got to choose what to do with it. So let's talk about blank. It's much more difficult than I expected. You done messed around and got yourself tangled up in something. You thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I don't know what it is. What is it about desserts that we always want to make metaphors claiming that they're easy? Oh, it's easy as pie. Oh, it's a piece of cake. You know? Ain't nothing. I don't know. Pie is notoriously difficult to make, especially if you're doing it from scratch. But I digress. All right, so here we go. Britt says that I didn't think that having a kid with my exact personality traits would have been that difficult until I remembered that I'm complete. It's all censored out. I'm not going to count those letters. If y'all know Brit, y'all know what Brit is. So much attitude. And a 2-year-old at that. No one ever says easy as tiramisu. No, nobody ever says that. Oh, it's easy as tiramisu. It's easy as mousse. I don't know. There are a couple new features. I want to digress for just a second as y'all think about some of these things that are difficult. I don't know. There are a couple new features on Spoon if you've updated the app. One is called Lounge. And another one is messaging. So you can actually send DMs now on Spoon. You can put posts on Spoon. You can send DMs on Spoon. There's a lounge where you just kind of hang out and it's not like a live. Basically, by default, everyone is on mic and there's no chat. I'm curious if anyone has used any of those tools yet. And I'm just saying that because I'm seeing that there's folks here who have some things in common, and it's great when you have an opportunity to come in and make friends. But a lot of times, the only place that you have to connect with someone who you have something in common is in someone else's live, where you have to make a live and open it up to everybody that might not care. It's cool that you can have a little conversation, you know? So I was just curious about it. All right. So Jamoka says that the difficult thing is putting myself first, but it's getting easier every day. It's getting easier. You were maybe so accustomed to um, not prioritizing your needs and your health, sacrificing yourself for other people's benefits. So you're getting that practice, and it's a lot harder than you think. So Noble Ancient says that staying patient and right-minded in an overly chaotic situation is much more difficult than I expected. Noble Ancient says, I didn't think I was going to fly off the handle like that. Wow, I'm mad. Why am I so mad right now? Why is it giving me such trouble right now? Hey, Warrior, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. YouTube Majestic Voice is in the house. Welcome in. Now, I'm glad to have you here, YouTube Majestic Voice. And I don't have the calls on right now. And I would expect that a lot of times you come in and get on the call. You wanted to know the name of for the song. Let me get my assistant to type that up for you. So the most difficult thing for Wham is cake. Peaches and cake is a problem. I don't know the nature of that problem, but peach and cake, for some reason, y'all, I guess you have to read into it whatever you like. So Bex says, I've been working from home since the pandemic. Now we have a new Whole Foods opening in Towson this January. Getting everything ready for the opening and adjusting to my new position has been a task. Yeah, that must be what got you on that London fog, huh? Dealing with that stress. Hi, Susan Baker. Thank you for joining us this morning. First, last, welcome in. I appreciate you. So Alexis says self-growth is harder than I expected. It has taken years of work to get where I am, and I know I still have a long journey ahead of me to get where I want to be. I'm so not patient. Yeah, the awareness of the journey ahead sometimes can be discouraging when you know that it's difficult. But I guess the thing is difficult but worth it, right? Building that momentum and using and leveraging the power of structure and habit to support that journey, right? So, fun fact, Wham, the reason that Wham put cake in the difficult thing was um, Wham ate 75% of the cheesecake in one day. All right. So everybody get ready to drop some green hearts in the chat for me real quick. Go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat. Mom is up, listening in. I expect that she'll be joining us shortly. She got some pie. She got sweet potato pie to start working on. The cooking starts today in the house. So she might be on YouTube for a minute, but then I expect she'll be coming in the kitchen shortly to start making a whole bunch of noise. All right. So one more request in this, request in this live or in this round. So Warrior says, I didn't think it'd be easy, but but not this hard either. You hate homicide, it's grisly. Wish these dead end leads would cease. So you have a difficult case that you're working on. Jade is here. Welcome in, Jade. Thank you for joining us. Wham says, I'm gonna have pumpkin pie tomorrow, probably a whole pumpkin pie. I hear you. I hear you. All right. Are we ready to go to the next prompt? If so, let's get it. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Jez is here. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. So let's own a few things before we get out of here today. And let's take a look at let's take a look. What choice are you making that is leading you away from where you want to go? I think that we talked about some of the things that have gotten out of hand, maybe some of the things that are difficult right now. We talked about the structures that we have in place. Now let's see how much we're able to own in terms of the choices that we're making. I mean, there's stuff out there that we can't control, but there's choices that we are making that might be leading us away from where we actually want to go. All right. Merry Christmas Eve, Chess. Thank you so much. Right. Yeah. Sometimes we make some interesting choices, right? I'm not going to call them bad choices. They're just interesting in light of everything else. And I think that the biggest thing about the word choice is it implies a level of control and awareness. Um, and again, anytime we are doing something and we raise our level of awareness about what's happening, and it's not just kind of drifting or floating around, it's intentional. I think that it is a little bit better for us because we, you know, we tend to be able to have more of an impact over things that we are aware of. So, someone anonymously says that I might be meeting someone in real life that I have feelings for in some time if everything goes well. Now, you are anonymous, so I'm not sure exactly what direction you feel like choosing to meet in real life might take you. Um, I mean, I understand how it can be scary, but I guess what it might be leading you away from is safety. You know, um, there is a certain level of idealism, a certain level of mystery and intrigue, and all those things can really enhance your interaction with a person if you haven't had an opportunity to be in their presence. So you are allowing a lot of anticipation to build up, and sort of by definition, you're going to lose some of that once it gets real. Like the nature of the relationship is going to change. Sometimes, we build people up to a degree that there's no way they can live up. um, there's no way they can live up to this story that you've built up over the course of your separation or the distance. So I guess I answered my own question in terms of how this relates to the choices. So Bex is probably going to start YouTube channel. It's probably going to be all about tea. All right. So Britt, interesting choice from Britt. My interesting choice is procrastinating because I'll wait until the last minute to do anything. Currently, I have a 12-page paper that I haven't started. It's due January 5th. All right. So procrastination is its own beast, right? And I'm not trying to make a joke here, but we're going to talk about procrastination next week. Just so happened, we're going to talk about procrastination next week as a thing, at least. I'm not putting it off. It's just it's a plan. Oh man, we're going to talk about procrastination later. Owen is here. Welcome in, Owen and Izuku. Thanks for joining us this morning. So choosing to procrastinate is taking you further away from where you want to go. So someone anonymously shares that my specific love interest at the moment is not good for me. I can see my future that I plan slipping further and further away, but I'm choosing to stay. Unhappy. Jamoka says, how do you know so much about us, G? I don't know. I don't know. Cunha Jones, welcome in. And thanks so much for the like. I'm sorry I didn't catch you when you came in the door. All right, let's go with another response. Jamoka says, continuing my break from streaming, I enjoy connecting in the conversations, but still not there yet. Yeah, I think that it could be the case that, it could be the case that had you been streaming, you would not have reached out and made connections with friends you know from IRL. So sometimes we have to create a little bit of tension. We recognize that we have this need, and there are a lot of different ways that you can go about filling that need. So maybe maybe you're in a situation where you're going to be calibrating the amount of the number of connections that you have, or the way that you connect between both in person and online connections. I think I can do this. What is it that you think you can do, Cunha? Say, I think I can do this. You can do it. You can do it. If you're talking about streaming, you definitely can do it. It looks like you are relatively new to Spoon, and definitely new to our live, I believe. But you are most welcome. If you got questions, give us a holler. Let us know. Oh, you mean you can hang with us? Yeah, you can definitely hang with us. Jamoka says, also, what direction do I want to share experience with getting sober or staying away from that? Got it. Yeah, so if you do start streaming, to what degree do you want to have it be about that experience? And are you going to be able to do that in a way that's healthy? So, next response is from Bex. Bex says, we on track, baby. I am a little worried, though, because I know how I can be when I stay in one place for too long. Discipline is the word of the year for me. Discipline is the word of the year. Because you're going to get bored. You're going to get bored and start mucking about. I think that I'm going to get bored. I already am bored. I think that one of them is a superpower. I think that we take the wrong signal from boredom. So Penelope and Summer. Hello, Penelope and Summer. Thanks for listening in, whoever you are. Really? Yeah. Thanks for listening in. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know what yet. Yeah, Penelope and Summer are maybe eating some dino waffles right now. So enjoy. Like, those are my kids, okay? Yeah, boredom is a superpower. I think the ability to endure boredom, to not run away from it. Cunha says, why can't we get to talk live? I can't type at all very well. Well, in some live streams, folks do have the calls open. Um, I choose not to, except for once a week, typically, because there's a vibe I'm trying to create. Um, so I know that it might be a little bit of a barrier for you, and I hope it's not a barrier to such a degree that you can't enjoy it. But yeah, that's sort of just a personal creative choice for me in that stream. You're like, fine, I'll just sit here. And also, I try to create a situation where even if you just kind of sit back and listen, you can still get a lot out of it. Um, and also, voice to text works kind of well too. I'm just saying, there are ways to work around it. All right, here we go. Yeah, I think the middle, boredom kind of equates to the middle of most things. When after the honeymoon is over, after the excitement goes away, and it just becomes sort of a grind. I think the brightness of the shine is correlated to the consistency of the grind. So you gotta, let's get up and get it. All right. Are we ready to go to the next prompt? Let me know. Go ahead and drop a little heart in the chat. All right. Let's see what else we got here for us. We had an hour and a half in. We just rolling right along. I'm just expecting the house to start coming alive in the next few minutes. So I think people are, out of respect, kind of hanging back. But this house is going to be smelling like food all day. Watch it says, phew. All right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about accountability. I know sweet accountability, so delicious. No, it was too heavy in the middle. Let me see, what are we talking about? Let me mind my business. Pasha says Burlington opens at 7. Got that last minute shopping to do. We're talking a little bit about accountability now, folks. Let me open up the request box. Who or what holds you accountable? Sometimes when we get into that difficult stage, we can't handle the middle alone. Those times when it gets a little bit rough, we need a reminder. Sometimes we need a loving but firm hand. So Konya Jones says, how do I follow? Well, all you have to do, if you're trying to follow anyone in here, you just click on their profile pic, and then it pulls up their profile, and you can follow just like that. All right, James Rico is here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about accountability. Who or what is holding you accountable? Who is helping you get through that difficult stage before you fully reap the rewards? After the excitement kind of ceases. So I am not Tree. My name is G. So I'll just wave at you real quick. So that's me. I'm the streamer. If you want to follow me, you can just click on my profile pic. And you can also click on the number at the top that says 15, and it gives you a list of everyone who's in the room. And you can follow. If someone says something cool in the chat, you can give them a follow as well. All right. I love the questions. All right, let's see what we got. Who or what holds you accountable? Quasha says, myself. I hold myself accountable. I hear you. It's great to have that self-discipline. Basically, self-accountability, holding yourself accountable is kind of equivalent to having self-discipline. And if you got, and if you have plenty of that, you're good to go. But if there's some things in your experience that you haven't been able to create yet, if there's habits that are not in place that you have been trying and not been able to consistently install, as vulnerable as it is to seek exterior accountability, to ask for the help or to buddy up, because sometimes people are flawed and they're subject to let you down, but there are just some things that you need something external to get you back on track. So yes, you can be that person, but I think sometimes even if it's just you, externalizing those tools of accountability can be a really helpful way to do it, because I think that a lot of times we're just kind of vaguely telling ourselves the things that we need to do, but we haven't written it down. And if you haven't taken the time to write it down so that you can see it, it's still you, but if you haven't written it down, you haven't done all that you can do to create that system of accountability. If you're not keeping track, it's still you. It's still you holding yourself accountable. But if you're not keeping track of your progress and reflecting on it, then it might not be as powerful or consistent. So Tonya says, how do I make the go on the screen? I want to do it too. Well, if you are talking about the folks on the top, if you're looking at the folks that are wearing crowns on the top of the screen, let me know if that's what you're talking about. So Britt says, my conscience, also known as my friend. You have a friend that calls you out. He's like, Britt. Well, here's the thing. Having those people in your life who can get through to you. For a lot of folks, it doesn't work to have anybody tell you. Nobody can't tell you nothing. You got to have somebody that can get through to you, though, right? So having that friend that you have given sort of the green light, that who can get through to you and talk sense into you, that's extremely valuable. Princess is here. Washa says, I can pray to God all day, but if I don't make a move, it's my consequences. So true. You gotta make a move. All right. So for Jamocha, it is my fellows in my home group, my sponsor, my children, myself. So yeah. So Kunya, if you want to answer, all you need to do is click the box on the right. There's a little pencil. If you click on that box, you can type an answer in there. And then that way I'll be able to share your response with the rest of them. Quackity, welcome in. Quash says that's pieces of me in the background. Just a whole screen full of chocolate. So, okay, cool, got it. So now you figured it out. Now here's the trick. You only get to do one round until I reset the box. So give it a little bit of thought. I was just about to say that there was some ashy chocolate, but I'll keep that to myself. So Quasha is calling herself out as ashy. Quasha has been making biscuits from scratch this morning. Let me find out you end up making biscuits from scratch or whipping up some pie crusts and got that dust all over your exposed flesh. All right. All right. We love biscuits from scratch, Quasha, even if they do make you ashy. Noble Ancient says, I have 3 major sources of accountability. 1 is Alexis, 2 is my own inner chaos, and 3 is my perfectionism. It's a nightmare's worth of straight-mindedness. Yikes. Body Brown is in the building, folks. Body Brown is in the building. What's up, Heaven Sent? You having a great Christmas Eve thus far? All right. Bex says the universe most definitely be hitting you with the be hitting you with that get back when you step out of line. All right. So I think that whether we have people in our life, in our experience, or whether we are just intentional about building systems around us that encourage accountability, the journal itself can be a tool for accountability because you can't hold it all in your head as much as you would like. You can't, well, you could, but it may not be the most efficient way, the most effective way to try to hold all of these commitments that you've made in your head. You know, that's one of the great tools. The great things that a journal can do for you is giving you a place to note those. Yeah, you try to hold it in your hand, and then you disappoint yourself sometimes when you forget. You know? I think I might have told the story before, sort of an extreme case of accountability where someone actually hired someone at a hourly rate above minimum wage, and their only job was to sit across from them while they were working. And if they got off track, if they opened up Facebook or went on their phone instead of writing, then the person who was being paid had a green light to slap them across the face as hard as they wanted. So that's one way to do it. Jane Unwritten is here. Imagine the horror as you're sitting there and like you got to keep typing because you know if you stop typing for too long, somebody's going to rear back on you. Somebody's going to haul off. All right. All right, so let me just take a second before we go into the next prompt. I want to just take a second to do a couple of announcements, a couple of plugs. I know that it is a holiday weekend, and I'm not sure, a lot of people are on a different schedule than they normally would be on. So I don't necessarily know what to plug in terms of what shows are coming on or what everyone's plans are. And I don't expect you to try to remember stuff too distantly in the future. But I'll kind of go through and give you a general idea of who some of the folks are in here who stream that you might want to check out the next time they go live, which might be real soon. So yesterday, I had the opportunity to listen in and ride along with Warrior. Warrior did a live stream where for part of it she was on duty, so we were kind of in the car, and then afterwards we just kind of chatted, sharing experiences from her very unique journey thus far. So if you enjoyed and if you met Warrior through the conversation here and like what she has to say, definitely give her a follow, so that you can hear the unique voice that she has. Maybe you might get graced with some poetry that she has published on her profile as well. I'll just leave it at that. There's other stuff that you could find, but I'm not going to mention it. We'll just keep that quiet, you know. I'm just going to say I ain't never been with a baddie. She comes, so I had to tell it. All right. I ain't never been with it. All right, here we go. We also have Wham is in here, and sometimes Wham will just run his playlist. And it just be a quiet live listening in to Wham's taste in music. And that's a cool thing about your own Spoon. Sometimes you can just check out a live and listen in on someone's playlist with them, and you can learn a lot about a person from their musical choices. So follow Wham for cookies and roses in the chat and cool playlists. Quasha is also here, voice actress, comedian. I'm not sure when she's going live again, but I know you mentioned that you're recording a podcast. Hopefully, you'll have some links available for us to check out where we can hear more. Quasha's a pretty good follow on Instagram. You can see her and her little mini-me going through the daily adventures. As you heard, Jamocha is on a break from streaming. The times that I did catch Jamocha and see Jamocha, it was during like midday, mid-afternoon. And you can kind of tell from the vibe that Jamocha gives here that might be a cool person to listen into. An interesting collection of friends as well. Also, Jehovah Thickness is here. I think that right now the focus is Twitch, maybe, but I still, from time to time, you can catch Jehovah Thickness on Spoon. Can't leave it alone. So you can tell it might be a little spicy. It might be a little abusive if you're into that kind of thing. But at any rate, it'll be fun. So make sure you check out Jehovah Thickness here on Spoon as well. Esso has a new, Esso has some podcasts. I haven't seen Esso live often lately, but follow Esso and check out their podcast. It'll be a lot of fun. Yesterday was just really good. So make sure you go and listen to the latest podcast from Esso. Tree is here, and I think Tree might be, passed out. I haven't heard from Tree in a minute. Tree's the host of the Tree House, but right now the focus is getting that YouTube channel up and running So follow Tree, and hopefully there'll be links available when those first videos get ready to go out. And special shout out to Bex for holding me down as manager, longtime friend, and letting me, kind of roast a little bit, respectfully, and for playing along. I really appreciate that. So those are some, we got Alexis is here listening in. We got, typically you can find Alexis live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesdays, it is going to be right after the Gamer Shop, which is going to be 8 p.m. Eastern. That makes that 5 Pacific for live gameplay. Wednesday is ROA with Noble Ancient, and that is a stream that is at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then Thursdays is Mental Health Thursdays. So conversations about mental health. And that is at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. After the holiday season, I'm not sure when those will be coming back, but give Alexis a follow either way. Noble Ancient is here as well. Noble Ancient is the host of the Gamer Shop. That is a Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. stream, talking about tabletop games. So as you hear, you can see Noble's personality comes out in his communication, and it's as fun as you would expect it to be, for sure. So check out the Gamer Shop on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And if I missed you and you do stream, feel free to take this moment to let folks know in the chat and promo what it is that you got going on. Britt says, I'm on Twitch 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time, just up there playing Minecrafting or shooting them up. I don't know what games we're playing right now. All right. So let's get ready to get into our next prompt. And it being Christmas Eve, or if you happen to celebrate Christmas, I mean, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, you can call it whatever you want. But this next prompt is from Cage's Cafe. I want to invite you, if you are not already in our Discord, there is a bonus prompt in Cage's Cafe. There's a bonus prompt in Cage's Cafe that I would love to hear your answers to, but I did not want to risk sharing it on here because I knew that given the company in the room, it was going to go way off the rails. But feel free to answer in a Discord. Look at the latest prompt in the Cage's Cafe and answer that if you would like. Some about Santa. So, I'd like to hear what you have to say, but we're not going to do it out here live, and then, it's too early in the morning for y'all to be out here like that. All right, so we open up the request box. And that is sort of like a subtle plug to join the Writers Room Discord. The links for that are in my profile. So you can, after the stream is over, my YouTube channel link, I would love it. I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just subscribe over there. It's going to be some cool stuff over here exclusively there. I get to express some of my creativity in filmmaking and storytelling there in a way that's different than what you can get in a live stream. So I want to hit that 50 subscriber milestone, and then do a video about that, and then start releasing some of the other stuff I have in the works that are supplementary to the conversations that we have here in the Morning Journal. Maybe see a little bit more behind the scenes of the ideas that go into creating this experience 5 days a week, because there's a lot of stuff that we don't actually get a chance to get to because we start the conversations. I have the questions, I have my notes, about things that I might want to say, but then we open up the box and the answers that you give take the conversation in unexpected ways, in unexpected places. In the best way, it goes into unexpected places. But there are a lot of things that I do have, other ideas that I have that supplement this. So, and YouTube is going to be the place where those live. So, I would love it, absolutely love it, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, all I want for Christmas is good mental health. I will sell my soul for it. You might need that back. Now, something for being more realistic: a whole day without children. You want Christmas without the kids. That's real Grinch like. That's real Grinch like. But hey. So someone anonymously says, "Do you want to know?" Smirk, shh, wink. No, I don't want to know. All right. Jamoka says, "All I want for Christmas is to be with those I love and care about, and maybe a haircut." Said, Jamoka need that bip. Have you ever heard that slang bip as it relates to a haircut? There's actually somebody opened up a barbershop on Monument Street in East Baltimore, and I think it's called Bip City or something like that. It's something with bip. It's a very Baltimore slang. You need to get that bip. It is a Baltimore thing. And here's Bex like, I've never heard of such things. I'm from DC, so I don't know anything about that. Even though you've been living in Baltimore, how long? It's like, I don't know what these Baltimore people be talking about. Oh, man. So Jamoka says 2 years of no cut. You've been 2 years without a haircut? What's going on there? What's going on there? What's going on there? What you you Rapunzel? What are we doing? Okay. So it's neglect. It's like, I'm not gonna take the time to cut my hair. Why bother? It's just gonna grow back. No more ancient. All I want for Christmas is to have our trip get us home intact without complications. I can dig it. Quasha says, what does Jamoka mean? That's a very deep existential question. That's a deep existential question. What does Jamoka mean? It means the same thing that Quasha means. It's a person's name. Oh, man. Sigma says, all I want for Christmas is to succeed and share my success. All right. It's like sometimes you have to share your success in order to succeed. The order is not necessarily what we think about. So that said, go ahead and cash at me $5 to share this. No, I'm not going to tell you on my cash app. I don't want y'all doing it. Quasha's like, well, my real name is Torquasha, which means queen. So there. Oh, man. Oh, man. So Bex wants those green satin Versace platforms from his new fall collection. I think that you might have put a picture of those up. Some Versace platforms. This is specific. Gee, how did you say my name right the first try? Because I can read, yo. Would you think it's a game? I can read. I don't act like it sometimes. You know, I'm cultured. I'm cultured. Uh, I'll be playing with y'all, but don't get it twisted now. All right, watch it. All I want for Christmas is for my daughter to be happy. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, a lot of people know you probably the third person who pronounced it right, and the other two are you and your mama. Oh man. Oh man. Here we go. So, Kunya says, "Do you and love all." All right. So Jamocha is a coffee related nickname. Oh man. All right. All right, folks, we're coming down to the last 3 minutes. I guess I need to put on our outro music. Let me find the outro music real quick. So Jamocha is jocking her son's name. It's like, I don't know. That's cool. Jamocha's son's like, Mom, I can't have nothing. I can't have nothing. Okay, let's go. Alice, thank you so much for being here as well. I'm hoping that this experience has made your day a little bit better. It certainly made my day brighter to spend the first parts of it with you. And I want to say thanks everybody for coming and participating and having fun with us on this Christmas Eve Purple Friday edition of the Morning Journal. This is the last stream of the week for me. I won't be going live tonight or any over the weekend. I'll be back Monday morning though, bright and early, 6 a.m. for Morning Journal. So in the meantime, y'all have a good time with your family and friends if that is what's happening for you. Maybe watch a little basketball or football if that's what you do. Play with your new toys, whatever that, however you choose to celebrate, if you celebrate, or just try to relax and take a deep breath at some point this weekend. And shout out to everyone: Tree, Esso, Bex, Kunya, Sigma, Jehovah Thickness, Noble Ancient, Alexis, Autumn Elf, Alice, Luna, Jamocha, Quasha, Wham, and Alex. I appreciate y'all. Chrissy's like, no, it's over. Yeah, it's over. I'm glad that you at least made it for the last moment. Y'all have a great weekend. And YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, check y'all later.